our Ring camera, and I found a video. I didn't pay attention to it at first. And this individual, you know how the Ring camera, there's this thing where you can leave a message. There's a voice that says, sorry we're not home, but you can leave a message and somebody will get back to you. Well, this individual responded with threats. He said, I'm here to take your money, and I'm going to kill you. I want you dead. I never met this person. Don't even know where he's from, don't even know his name. But after watching that video, I had a sense of fear. Because, of course, I'm here, Father Terry's up in his room. He's fast asleep. I don't know how he slept through all of that, because we were drilling and cutting, and he slept through all of it. But as I was sweeping the Borges room by myself in a bath, sometimes the mind starts to wander. I thought to myself, what if this individual showed up again? Being Samoan that I am, I always try to make a joke out of it. I thought to myself, well, if he shows up and I'm sweeping this glass, I'm going to tell him, come and clean up your mess. Because you did it. But there's still, I guess I was masking the fear with humor. But then the what ifs. What if this guy shows up behind me and knocked me with another cinder block? What if this guy had a weapon with him? Because he threatened to kill the priest. Specifically. He said, I want to kill the priest. And then all of this went through my head. At that moment, a sense of fear came into my heart. But for some reason, I felt like Peter, sinking into the ocean, and Jesus was trying to say, have no doubts. Maybe about a minute or two after that thought came into my mind, I received another phone call from Tanya again, saying, Father Ace, he's in the front. He's here. He came back. So he came, police came over, they caught him, and then they took him to custody. I'm telling you this story, my friends, because just to tell you what happened throughout our whole week and that night. I didn't go to bed until like 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Well, Friday morning, which thank God it was my day off, so at least I get to sleep in. But today's reading talks about the suffering priest. It just so happened that the reading matches the theme of the week. Isaiah is saying that there is a priest among you that will come, that he will take upon himself the crush himself with sin. Who's that priest? Jesus Christ. Jesus, the high priest, took upon himself the weight of the sin of the world. He was willing to suffer for the good of others, for the good of us. But I would like to focus on the second reading. The second reading, it says, in our agreement and our confession to God. See, that night, through all these events, I reflected a lot on my role as a priest. The sacrifice and what's going to happen if it comes to such point. But I'm telling you this, my dear friends, so that hopefully that you will also to reflect on your role as a baptized Christian. See, the letter to the Hebrews, or the second reading, it says, what do we do when we feel like the sufferings of the world is coming? Hold on. Hold on to your confession. The confession that we made at baptism. The confession that I made at my ordination. That I will be here to protect my people, the people that God has entrusted to me, even if it's going to cause me harm. That is my confession. But what is our confession that we made in our baptism? See, Jesus reminded his disciples in the gospel, they wanted to have this seat of power. Because seat of power means you don't have to do anything. You point your finger and people will move. But Jesus said, no, that's not the seat you're going to get. See, the time of Jesus, the priests of the time, they had security guards with them. Now, I wish I had some security guards. They are hired Tanya and Lipoa because they seem to be good security guards than any of the other guys in our parish. But the priests at the time of Jesus, they were protected. They didn't have to do anything. People went to their command. But Jesus said, and he said, no, that's not how it's going to be. You're going to come down from your throne and you're going to get your hands dirty. And then you're going to suffer. We are also baptized in that priesthood of Jesus Christ. That priesthood that we too must serve. That we too will suffer. That we too must hold on to what we have professed. As we know, when Jesus died, his disciples ran away. But Hebrews is reminding us, hold on to your confession. When things get tough, when life starts to be a little bit scarier than what it used to be, if someone threatens you that he or she will murder you, hold on to your faith. Hold on to that promise that you made to Jesus Christ in your baptism. Why? Well, Hebrews continue. Hebrews said in the second reading, because we have a God, we have a high priest in Jesus Christ who sympathized to our suffering because he also suffered. The priests of the time of Jesus, they don't understand the daily life of the people because they live high and mighty. But Jesus came down from his throne so he can connect, he can sympathize with us. He took on suffering, he took on sin, so he can understand, and for us to know that he knows what we're going through. The next day, I posted the video, and I shared my reflection of that night. But also, I was in tears with my morning prayer, grateful for the help of these 4 individuals that came, even if I didn't say I need help. And they showed up. Very grateful for that. We swept glass, we put stuff away, we even fixed a leaking pipe. For some reason, it just started to leak after that event. And I told them that morning, go home. The more we stay here, the more problems are going to come up. And then we got to fix it. But it was a great reflection for me the next day to understand the sufferings. I poured my heart out, to be honest, and I poured my heart out to you this day. And it was a theme throughout this week, even though I didn't plan on it. I even had teachers from St. Anthony's School talk about it and said to me, Father, how can you do it? To teach, to run the parish, to do funerals, to do weddings, and to do all this stuff. I said to them, first thing, I don't have a wife and a kid, so that helps, gives me more time. But the second is because I said yes to it. It was my confession. I knew the suffering that's going to come from it. So let us then take this day as we reflect on the letter to the Hebrews on the confessions that we said at our baptism. How we can live up to that confession when we said, yes, Lord, I will be with you. I stand by you through the tough times and through the joys of life. And no matter what, I am also willing to die for you. And the gospel today ends with, when we love someone so much, we are willing to die for the person. How much do we love God? How much do we love Jesus Christ? And that we are willing to die for him.